Welcome to the future of factory automation. This program is a broadcast of a Japanese podcast that has been translated into English using Notebook LM. We're here today because, well, one of you, a listener named Walloon who enjoys the show, sent in a really great question. Walloon wants to know what key technologies or, trends in factory automation are most critical to get your head around right now, especially thinking about folks involved in the nuts and bolts, the on-site work, or maybe the design side of things.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. It really gets to the heart of what's changing, doesn't it? And Walloon's question, it covers quite a bit of ground. Things like field buses, the standard controllers like IEC 61131, compliant PLCs, modern programming languages too, and of course the big one, cybersecurity, mentioning IEC 62443 specifically. So essentially the challenge for us is to pinpoint, well, what's the single most vital thing to understand today?
Exactly. And what's interesting is Walloon actually put forward their own candidate, Ethernet fundamentals. And the logic is sound, right? You see more and more Ethernet devices on the factory floor. So knowing about troubleshooting, handling network traffic, congestion, and even how it connects to cybersecurity basics, it all seems to start there. So let's dive in. We kind of agree, yeah. Having some Ethernet knowledge is definitely useful, but is it truly the most critical thing right now?
Well, absolutely. Having that basic comfort level with Ethernet helps. There's no doubt about it. It's almost like the common tongue for so many communication methods now in industry. Think about the shift away from some older field buses or the rise of protocols like OPC UA.
Right, the interoperability standard.
Exactly. And even things like MQTT for, say, cloud connections. Ethernet is often underneath it all.
Okay, so knowing the basics, how devices chat, the protocols involved, that sort of thing, it gives you a bit of a leg up, doesn't it, when you face new systems?
It does. It's like knowing basic grammar, like you said before we started.
Yeah.
It helps you decipher more complex stuff later on.
Yeah.
However, and this is an interesting point, a lot of the really fiddly details of Ethernet, they're increasingly being, well, hidden or abstracted away from the typical user.
Oh, okay.
Take Ethernet P, for instance. Once you get it configured, the actual data flying back and forth, it happens pretty automatically.
That's a fair point. So for just running the machine day to day, maybe you don't need to be an Ethernet guru on the deepest level. The systems are often built to be more user-friendly plug and play even.
Yeah, it's a bit like your home Wi-Fi, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't usually need to understand the deep 802.11 standards just to get online.
Good analogy.
And the level of understanding needed probably really depends on what your job is. If you're an end user on the floor, you might lean more on vendor support for tricky network stuff. But if you're the one designing the system, setting it up, or doing the serious maintenance, then yeah, a broader network view becomes much more important.
So, okay, while Ethernet is that base layer, maybe the advice for Walloon is to look a bit higher up. Not just the physical cable and signals, but maybe the concepts governing how all that data moves around the whole industrial network.
I think that's exactly right. That's a key distinction. Understanding those core networking ideas, what hubs and switches actually do, the different network layers, especially layer 2 and layer 3, that seems much more critical now.
Okay, layers 2 and 3, can you unpack that just a little?
Sure. So layer 2, you can think of that as handling the traffic within a local network segment, like devices talking directly to each other in one part of the plant, making sure that works smoothly. Layer 3 is more about routing, getting data between different networks. That becomes super important when you start connecting the plant floor to, say, the business network or remote systems or the cloud.
Got it. So it's less about the wire itself and more about the traffic rules and the highways for the data.
Precisely. How it's organized, how it flows, how you find problems when it doesn't flow right.
That makes a lot of sense. That ability to diagnose things at the network level, that feels really strategic for keeping things running smoothly long term. So let's connect this back. Why is this broader networking knowledge so important? How does it link to, business value and where things are heading?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. That deeper grasp of networking, especially L2, L3. It's becoming absolutely essential if you want to engage with the higher level IT systems.
Yeah.
And the really big topic, cybersecurity in the OT space, the operational technology side.
Cybersecurity again, yeah.
Think about this basic question. Everyone talks about data-driven manufacturing, right? So
Yeah.
why aren't more factories fully connected seamlessly to the cloud to really unlock all that potential for analytics, remote monitoring, predictive maintenance?
Security. That's the first word that jumps to my head. The fear of cyber threats hitting production.
It's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Disrupting production, stealing IP,
Mm.
even safety risks. Huge concerns. And that reluctance, that hesitation to really go all in on cloud connectivity, even though the potential profit and efficiency gains are pretty clear, it often boils down to a lack of confidence. A lack of confidence in managing the underlying network complexity and, crucially, the security needed for it.
So understanding the network pathways is key to understanding how to secure them, or how they could be attacked.
Exactly. And figuring out how to solve those security challenges, that's not just a technical problem to overcome. It's actually where the big opportunity lies. That's where the value, maybe even the money is.
Okay, so bringing this back to Walloon's question, it sounds like we're saying, and develop a solid understanding of L2, L3 networking ideas, and couple that with at least a foundational knowledge of cybersecurity, maybe awareness of standards like IEC 62443, which is specifically for industrial control system security. Even if you don't plan on becoming a full-blown security expert, just having that working knowledge seems critical for anyone designing or maintaining these systems now.
Yes, I think that's spot on. And it's not just about defending against current threats. We also need to think ahead. How should we be designing our PLC systems today so they're ready for a future where cloud connection is maybe more common, more expected?
That's a big question, like basic infrastructure things. You mentioned Ethernet often has that 100-meter limit inside plants. Is that going to be enough if we suddenly need to push way more data up?
Right. Will the existing pipes be big enough?
And what about the data itself? Is it structured in a way that makes sense for cloud analytics? Can we easily get the data out in a useful format? Or are we going to hit roadblocks there too?
These are exactly the kinds of forward-looking questions people in the field should be asking themselves. We don't know the exact timeline, maybe, for when deep cloud integration becomes standard everywhere.
Right.
But laying the groundwork now, understanding networking and security, that feels essential. We've already made the big shift, mostly from things like RS-485 serial links to industrial Ethernet within the plant. That's largely done. The question now is sort of, what's the next step beyond just having Ethernet everywhere locally?
And having this knowledge, this networking and security understanding, it puts the folks in the factories in a stronger position too, right? When they're talking to vendors, making decisions about buying new tech.
Oh, absolutely. Huge advantage.
If you understand the principles, you can ask better questions, make more informed choices. You're not just relying on what the salesperson tells you.
Exactly. Being technically informed in these areas today gives you leverage. It lets you have those more meaningful discussions, make sure things actually fit your needs and your security requirements. Avoids nasty surprises later.
Okay, so let's try and circle back and summarize for Walloon. While knowing basic Ethernet isn't wasted time, definitely not. The really critical area, the one with maybe more future impact, is that broader understanding of network principles, L2, L3, and how that ties directly into cybersecurity. Because solving the security puzzle seems to be the key to unlocking a lot of future benefits.
I think that sums it up perfectly. It's moving beyond just the cable, understanding the logical flow, the data pathways, and crucially, how to protect them. And remember, this isn't just about stopping bad things from happening. It's about enabling good things, a more connected, efficient, valuable industrial operation.
And thinking about this, it also seems to open up different career paths, doesn't it, within factory automation?
It really does. The demand for people who understand both the traditional control side and these networking and security aspects, that's only going to increase, I believe.
So you might see people specializing more.
Exactly. It feels like a natural evolution. Skills in things like, industrial IoT, network management, cloud integration, they become really valuable additions to that core PLC programming and control engineering background.
Right.
Doesn't mean everyone has to become an expert in everything overnight. Not at all. But new specializations are definitely emerging. The overall skill set needed in the industry is broadening.
That's actually quite exciting, isn't it? More options, more ways to grow your career. It's not just doing the same thing forever.
Absolutely. Having more choices is always a good thing. I mean, personally, I've seen my own focus shift over the years, moving more into these connected areas from purely traditional control. It's interesting.
Okay, good perspective.
So, yeah, the final takeaway for Walloon, I think, is clear. Two key areas stand out. Network knowledge broader than just Ethernet, think L2, L3, and security. Focusing on building skills there, it's not just going to help with the job you have today. It's going to position you well for the future, open up new doors, and likely increase the overall value you bring.
Well, Walloon, we really hope this deep dive has given you some useful insights and maybe some direction. It was a fantastic question, really made us think. So thank you for sending that in. And for everyone listening, if you're enjoying these discussions, please do follow us and leave a comment. We're pushing towards posting 200 daily episodes.